These are 10 craziest conspiracy theories told on Joe Rogan Podcast. Episode number 1169, Joe Rogan and Elon Musk discuss the theory that reality might just be a simulation.
But ultimately, is it making people happier right now? Most technology, I would say no. In fact, you and I were talking about social media before this, about just not having Instagram on your phone and not dealing, and you feel better.
Yes, I think that one of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like they have a much better life than they really do.
Right.
So
by design.
Yeah, people are posting pictures of when they're really happy. They're modifying those pictures to be better looking. Even if they're not modifying the pictures, they're at least selecting the pictures for the best lighting, the best angle. So people basically seem they're way better looking than they basically really are.
Right.
And they're way happier seeming than they really are. So if you look at everyone on Instagram, you might think, man, there are all these happy, beautiful people, and I'm not that good looking, and I'm not happy. So I must suck, and that's going to make people sad. So when in fact, those people you think are super happy, actually not that happy. Some of them are really depressed. They're very sad. Some of the happiest seeming people, actually some of the saddest people in reality. And nobody looks good all the time. It doesn't matter who you are.
No. It's not even something you should want. Why do you want to look great all the time?
Yeah, exactly. So I think things like that can make people quite sad.
Well,
just by comparison, because you just sort of people generally think of themselves relative to others. We are constantly rebaselining our expectations. And you can see this, say, if you watch some show like Naked and Afraid, or if you just go and try living in the woods by yourself for a while, and you'll learn that civilization is quite great. It has a lot of it. People want to come back to civilization pretty fast on Naked and Afraid.
Wasn't that a Thoreau quote? The comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah. Well, happiness is reality minus expectations.
That's great too. But the comparison is a thief of joy really holds true to people. Is it?
Theodore Roosevelt.
Roosevelt. Fascinating. When you're thinking about Instagram, because what essentially Instagram is with a lot of people is you're giving them the opportunity to be their own PR agent. And they always go towards the glamorous, And when anybody does show, hashtag no filter, if they really do that, like, oh, you're so brave. Look at you. No makeup.
Yeah.
They look good anyway. You look great. What are you doing? Oh my God, you don't have makeup on. You still look hot as fuck. You know what you're doing. I know what you're doing too. They're letting you know, and then they're feeding off that comment section. Ooh, just a little sitting there like it's a fresh stream of love. Like you're getting right up to the source as it comes out of the earth, and you're sucking that sweet
emojis.
Love water.
Emojis.
Yeah.
A lot of emojis.
My concern is not so much what Instagram is that I didn't think that people had the need for this or the expectation for some sort of technology that allows them to constantly get love and adulation from strangers and comments and this ability to project this sort of distorted version of who you really are. But I worry about where it goes. Like, what's the next one? Like, where is it? Is it going to be augmented? Is some sort of a weird augmented or virtual sort of Instagram type situation where you're not going to want to live in this real world? You're going to want to interface with this sort of world that you've created through your social media page. It's some next level thing.
Go live in the simulation.
Yeah, maybe
in the simulation.
Some Ready Player One type shit that's real. That seems, we have that HTC Vive here, and I've only done it a couple times, quite honestly, because it kind of freaks me out.
Sure.
My kids fucking love it, man. They love it. They love playing these weirdo games and walking around with that headset on. But part of me watching them do it goes, wow, I wonder if this is like the precursor. Just sort of like if you look at that phone that Gordon Gekko had on the beach,
Yes.
And then you compare
big
that.
cell phone.
Yeah, you compare that to like a Galaxy Note 9. Like,
Sure.
how the fuck did that become that, right? And I wonder when I see this
Yes.
HTC Vive, I'm like, what is that thing going to be 10 years from now when we're making fun of what it is now? What is it? How ingrained and how connected and interconnected is this technology going to be in our life?
It will be, at some point, indistinguishable from reality.
Where we'll lose this. We'll lose this. Like, you and I are just looking at each other through our eyes. I see
Are
you,
we?
you see me. I hope.
You think so?
I think you probably have regular eyes.
This could be some simulation.
It could. Do you entertain that?
Well, the argument for the simulation, I think, is quite strong, because if you assume any improvement at all over time, any improvement, 1%, 0.1%, just extend the time frame, make it 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years. The universe is 13.8 billion years old. What would civilization, if you counted, if you're very generous, civilization is maybe 7,000 or 8,000 years old, if you count it from the first writing. This is nothing. This is nothing. So if you assume any rate of improvement at all, then games will be indistinguishable from reality. Or civilization will end. One of those two things will occur. Therefore, we are most likely in a simulation.
Or we're on
'Cause
our
we
way
exist.
to one, right? Well, but just
Since we
because we
exist,
exist, we could most certainly be on the road. We could be on the road to that, right? It doesn't mean that it has to have
We could
already
be in base
happened.
reality. We could be in base reality.
We could be here now on our way to the road or on our way to the destination where this can never happen again, where we are completely ingrained in some sort of an artificial technology or some sort of a symbiotic relationship with the internet or the next level of sharing information. But right now we're not there yet. That's possible too, right? It's possible that a simulation is one day going to be inevitable, that we're going to have something that's indistinguishable from regular reality. But maybe we're not there yet. That's also possible. That we're not
Yes,
quite
it
there
is.
yet. That this is real. When I touch that
It feels
wood,
very real.
maybe that's why everybody's like into like mason jars and shit.
Mason jars.
Suede shoes. People are into like craft restaurants and they want raw wood. Everyone wants to see metal. People, it seems like people are like longing towards some weird log cabin type nostalgia.
Sure. Reality.
Yeah, like holding on, like clinging, just
Sure.
dragging their nails through the mud, like don't take me yet.
Yes.
I want to.
But then people will go get a mason jar with a wine stem or a handle. That's dark. Makes me lose faith in humanity.
Wine stem and a handle. Do they have those?
Yes.
Oh, those dirty people.
Oh,
That's just
terrible.
assholes. That's like people make pet rocks.
Rough.
Right? Some people are just assholes. They take advantage of our generous nature.
It was made with a wine stem, made with a handle.
They made it that way.
Yes.
So it wasn't like they
manufactured
welded
like
it
that.
onto the mason. Ah, you
No, that would
fucks.
be fine if there was, they glued it on or something. But
Right, that would be like
it was made that way.
white trash chic. Oh, this is disgusting. Look at
Yes.
this. Here it is
Pretty
right
harsh.
there.
Yep.
This is terrible. Yeah. That's like fake breasts that are designed to be hard, like fake breasts from the 60s. It's like if you really long for the ones with ripples, here we go. Yeah. That's almost what that is.
Yeah.
What are you going to do, man? There's nothing, there's nothing you can do to stop certain terrible ideas from propagating.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to sound like things are too dark, because I think like you kind of have to be optimistic about the future. There's no point in being pessimistic. It's just too negative.
It doesn't help.
It doesn't help. I think you want to be. My theory is like you'd rather be optimistic. I'd rather be optimistic and wrong than pessimistic and right.
Right.
At least err on that side.
Right. Yeah.
Because if you're pessimistic, it's going to be miserable.
Yeah. Yeah, nobody wants to be around you anyway. If it's the end of the world, you're like, I fucking told you, bro.
Yeah.
The world's
Exactly.
ending. Yeah. It is what it
might
is
as
for
well
all.
Enjoy the journey.
Right, if you really want to get morose, it is what it is for all of us anyway. We're all going to go, unless some something changes.
Yeah.
I
mean, ultimately, even if we just sort of existed as humans forever, we'd still eventually, that'd be like the heat death of the universe.
Right.
A zillion years from now.
Right. Even if we get it past the sun. If we figure out a way past the sun running out of juice.
Eventually it's going to end. It's just a question of when.
Right.
So it really is all about the journey.
Or transcendence from whatever we are now into something that doesn't worry about death.
The universe as we know it will dissipate into a fine mist of cold nothingness eventually.
And then someone's going to bottle it and put a fragrance to it, sell it to French people in another dimension.
It's just a very long time. So
Yeah.
I think it's really just about how can we make it last longer.
Are you a proponent of the multi-universes theory? Do you believe that there are many, many universes and that even if this one fades out, that there's other ones that are starting fresh right now and there's an infinite number of them and they're just constantly in this never-ending cycle of birth and death?
I think most likely, this is just about probability, there are many, many simulations. These simulations we might as well call them reality, or you could call them the multiverse.
These simulations you believe are created? Like someone has manufactured?
They're running on the substrate.
So...
That substrate is probably boring.
Boring?
Mm-hmm.
How so?
Well, when we create a simulation, like a game or a movie, it's a distillation of what's interesting about life. Like it can take a year to shoot an action movie. And then that's all distilled down into 2 or 3 hours. So let me tell you, if you see an action movie being filmed, it's boring. Super boring. There's like lots of takes. Everything's in a green screen. Looks pretty goofy. Doesn't look cool. But once you add the CGI and have great editing, it's amazing. So I think most likely, if we're a simulation, it's really boring outside the simulation. Because why would you make a simulation that's boring? You'd make the simulation way more interesting than base reality.
That is if this right now is a simulation.
Yes.
And ultimately, inevitably, as long as we don't die or get hit by a meteor, we're going to create some sort of simulation if we continue on the same technological path we're on right now.
Yes.
But we might not be there yet. So it might not be a simulation here. But it most likely is, you feel, other places.
This notion of place or where is a...
Flawed?
Yes.
Flawed
like
perception.
Where, like
right.
that, if you have this sort of, that Vive, know, that's made by Valve and Steam, and it's really Valve that made it. HTC did the hardware, but it's really a Valve thing.
Makers of Half-Life.
Yes. Valve, great company.
Great company.
When you're in that virtual reality, which is only going to get better, where are you? Where are you really?
Right.
You aren't anywhere.
Well,
You're in the computer.
What defines where you are?
Exactly.
Right.
It's your perception.
Is it your perceptions, or is it a scale that we have under your butt? You're right here. I've measured you. You're the same weight as you were when you left. But meanwhile, your experience is
radically
radically
different. Why do you think
different.
you're where you are right now? You might not be.
I'll spark up a joint if you keep talking. Your manager's going to come in here. We might have to lock the door.
Right now, you think you're in a studio in LA.
That's what I heard.
You might be in a computer.
Oh, listen, man. I think about this all the time. Yeah, I mean, it's unquestionable that one day that'll be the case. As long as we keep going. As long as nothing interrupts us. And if we start from scratch and, we're single-celled organisms all over again, and then millions and millions of years later we become the next thing that is us with creativity and the ability to change its environment, it's going to keep monkeying with things until it figures out a way to change reality. To change, to almost like punch a hole through what is this thing into what it wants it to be and create new things. And then those new things will intersect with other people's new things. And then it'll be this ultimate pathway of infinite ideas and expression all through technology.
Yeah.
And then we're going to wonder, like, why are we here? What are we doing?
Let's find out.
Well,
I mean, I think we should take the set of actions that are most likely to make the future better.
yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then reevaluate those actions to make sure that it's true.
Well,
Episode number 2151, Joe Rogan and Rizwan Virk discuss the Mandela effect as a possible glitch in the Matrix.
Whoa.
Boom! Look how they're sliding all over the place. I mean, that is fucking ice.
Yeah.
That guy can't stop his car. Look, he's just gonna slide in that car behind him. This is
Oh my
ridiculous.
God. Is that
He
Portland?
can't stop it.
Oh, shit.
Boom! And
he's
that
still
car's
going.
sliding. They're all sliding. The whole thing is ice.
Joe Rogan questions the moon landing. May be real, but some footage faked.
There's no video evidence of what hit the Pentagon.
Well, there's a video of something. I know there was one
Yeah.
hidden camera thing or security camera video that was released. But what they did have is all sorts of pieces of aircraft all over the fucking lawn.
Yeah.
I mean, in a blown up building and a plane that's missing and all the people dead. Like, I'm going to guess it was a plane.
Yeah.
You know, I think people look for conspiracies and everything because it's exciting.
Well,
There's
I
something
mean,
stimulating about it.
there is. But then obviously, I know that you don't believe that everything we're told is the truth right
No.
away, right? I mean, if
Not
we
at
go
all.
to something like Gulf of Tonkin incident,
Yes.
right? I mean,
Perfect
that's been
example.
proven to be false. Or the fact, like the banana republics, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
Dole asked us to go take out one of their dictators because they were going to nationalize all the banana plants in that country.
Yeah.
I mean, those things have been now proven to be
Yes.
totally factual, that the United States government went and did that stuff. So the fact that, and you know, in 1960s or 70s, those things were reported the opposite, right?
Right.
So we can't obviously take everything that we've been reported as truth.
Well, there's definitely been conspiracies that have been put together and executed. And these conspiracies have greatly affected the American people. The Gulf of Tonkin's a perfect example.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that they were planning on was Operation Northwoods.
Yes.
Operation Northwoods was one that they were planning on blowing up a drone jetliner, blaming it on the Cubans. They were going to arm Cuban friendlies and have them attack Guantanamo Bay. They were going
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to sacrifice American troops and American lives. And they were going to do this in order to get people to be excited about a war with Cuba.
Yeah.
This is a real thing that was signed by the Joint Chiefs of Staff. It was released by the Freedom of Information Act, and it was vetoed by Kennedy. So we know that there were people, at least in 1962, that were planning on shit like this.
Yeah.
So that's a real thing. And the idea that just went away and no one does that anymore,
It's crazy.
I don't believe that. I think there's most certainly evil people in all fucking sectors of life.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's good to have an open mind, but there's also a lot of fucking conspiracy loons that look for.
And they get consumed with
Yeah.
it. That's the
Yeah.
issue. Is they get consumed with nothing that I've been told is true.
Yeah.
Which is obviously, like I said, the one far end of the spectrum. And anyone who's that end is crazy also.
Yeah, there's people out there that think the satellites are fake, and they think that
The moon landing
dinosaurs
one-
were in more than 400 miles above the Earth's surface. All the space station missions, all the space shuttle missions, all that stuff is
Within orbit.
Yeah, it's low. It's all very low. They went 260,000 miles out and back into deep space, but they had never even flown a chicken out there and see if it comes back alive. Like, we really didn't.
Really?
Yeah, no.
I'm not into the space travel one, so.
I mean, they did a couple of flybys, like
Yeah.
that went around the moon, early before they landed on the moon.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, without unmanned drones like what we have on Mars and things like that, we've never really sent a living thing out through the magnetosphere, through the Van Allen radiation belts, into deep space. Have it, you know, I mean, there's all these possibilities of solar flares and anything that would have
Yeah.
killed them instantly. And they just did that. And then we haven't been able to do that since 1972.
That's the one where
Yeah.
I've never looked into the moon landing. I think it's kind of goofy, right?
Well, it's
But-
weird. It's a weird one.
Why have we never?
The technology is far superior, except that they're not using that technology for manned space travel into deep space like that and to
Yeah.
go into the moon. So it's like our technology in all these other areas is superior, but they haven't really worked towards that because they haven't been funded. So the big issue is, in many ways, it's money. Right? It's there's how much money is there in going to the moon, and it's also very risky to send humans out there. I mean, we're talking about manned missions to Mars now, which may or may not take place by 2030. They're talking about doing that, but it's way cheaper and safer to send robots out there. Like,
Yeah.
why risk human lives? It's
Well,
like,
they
it's
put
very
robots
retro.
on the moon, right? And they put robots on Mars.
Yeah.
The rovers.
The
and stuff.
rovers on Mars are that's the most interesting because they're sending these really high resolution photos of the surface of Mars, and they're running tests and checking for biological life. It's really, really interesting stuff. But between 69 and 72, when they did all this stuff, I mean, there's the technology back then was nothing compared to what they have now in terms of calculations and computers, and it's also there's unquestionably some stuff that, whether it was images or video, that was faked. And I think...
Really?
Yeah.
So, like I said, I never looked into this at all.
Gemini 15 is the big one because there's a photo of Michael Collins. It shows him in deep space, and they use it as a press release saying that he was on a spacewalk, when it was really an image of him from a test run where there was all this stuff in the background, and he was on this harness, and they just blacked out the background and tried to sell it as him being in space. See if you find that. Michael Collins, what do you...
I was looking up how much it costs to send somebody to space.
Oh, it's insane.
$70
now
million
there's these
70 million?
for a NASA astronaut to fly on a Russian shuttle.
Well,
Called
there's all
Jeff
these
Bezos.
private guys trying to
Yeah.
sell tickets to places. I mean,
Yeah.
Bezos is trying to do it. Musk, obviously.
But that's
I think
space. That's just low Earth orbit. That's still inside 400 miles.
none of them are trying to go anywhere.
No. Well, they might in the future.
Well, Branson.
Well, I think that's all same thing. It's all low
Okay.
Earth orbit. But they are talking about future visits to the moon and to Mars. But a lot of times I feel like when they say that, George Bush Sr. said that they were going to go to the moon, back to the moon again. In like fucking, when was that? 1990 or whatever the hell that was? People have always said we're going to go back to the moon, but we haven't been back since 1972. Does that mean that we never went? No. But then it gets weird when you find out that Wernher von Braun was a fucking Nazi.
Who?
Wernher von Braun, the guy he was the head of NASA. He was the guy who organized the moon landings, and he was the head rocket guy. That guy was a legit Nazi. Like, he was wanted by the Simon Wiesenthal Center said that if he was alive today, they would prosecute him for crimes against humanity. They would hang the 5 slowest workers every day in front of his Berlin rocket factory. Oh yeah. No, 100%. I mean, that's what they did. What they did was they took this thing, it was called Operation Paperclip, where when we won World War II, they took all the top Nazi scientists and they secretly brought them over to America. And they did it on the down low so that no one would think like, hey, why do we have a guy named Wernher von Braun running the American space program? Well, it's because the Nazi scientists were insanely advanced. So the question is like, well, were they really Nazis, or were they scientists that were under the boot of the Nazi administration? I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm not around then.
Yeah.
But I do know that these are the people that were the head engineers and the people that designed it. Wernher von Braun himself was saying how impossible it was, just years before they did the moon landing and years before Operation Paperclip, that it was impossible to go to the moon, or how ridiculously impossible it would be. But technology advanced from then to when 1969 happened to when they did it. I stopped saying that we never went to the moon because I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. And that's a big part of understanding these conspiracies.
It's like, hard.
You have to really know, how much do I know about rocketry? How much do I know about aerospace? Zero.
Yeah.
So if I'm running around saying I don't believe people went to the moon, what is it based on? It's based mostly on ignorance, speculation, and the excited feeling that comes with trying to uncover a conspiracy.
Sure, but I think you do have to be a little bit discerning on what you hear, but it is frustrating, and that's where a lot of these conspiracy guys they think they know more than they do, because you have to come to the realization that you're probably never going to know the real answer with a lot of these things. Very likely. I mean, some of them come out many years later. We're talking about like Gulf of Tonkin, right, or Operation Northwoods. Many years later, it comes out, but there's a good likelihood that I'll never know the truth on stuff I read a lot about.
I think with the moon landing, it's way more likely that we went to the moon, but that some of the footage is fake. And I think they probably did that because it's incredibly difficult to film things on the moon. And I think they filmed some stuff in test runs and then tried to pass that stuff off.
Should have brought their iPhone.
They didn't have it back then. They had these cameras that they had in the center of their chest. I think
What if they would have been taking a selfie on the moon?
Yeah, the kid.
Snapchatting it.
You'd have to take your suit off, and then you would die. They didn't have a camera that you could put in front of you.
Well, maybe they have one of those clicker buttons they could have.
Bouncing straight up in the air. You're like, well, what the fuck is that? How come the physics are different in different flights? Like in some of the flights, like Apollo 11, they're barely getting off the ground.
Isn't it one where they're walking, but they're kind of going,
yeah,
like that?
Well, there's ones like that, and then there's also ones where they fall down. It looks like they're getting yanked up by wires. I think it's entirely possible that some of that stuff was faked.
Huh.
But I think it's way more likely that they actually went to the moon than they didn't. But it's way sexier to think that they faked the whole thing. It's fun. It's fun to think they faked the whole thing. That everybody was quiet about it, and Neil Armstrong gave this real cryptic speech on the 25th anniversary of the moon mission, saying that there are hidden truths. What is the exact quote that he said? Some of the great truths that could be revealed. Removing some of truth's hidden layers, like he
so what if he was giving it away?
It was real cryptic. It was like, what do you? Let's see if you can find it.
I got the video.
Play the video.
He might have been giving it away.
Well, it seemed if you were a conspiracy theory, this would give you a rock hard boner. Because listen to this.
Neil Armstrong made a rare public appearance. Next generation of taxpayers.
We have no. Just play the whole thing so you don't confuse everybody.
In 1994. Neil Armstrong made a rare public appearance and held back tears as he spoke these brief cryptic remarks before the next generation of taxpayers as they toured the White House.
Today we have with us a group of students among America's best. To you we say we have only completed a beginning. We leave you much that is undone. There are great ideas undiscovered, breakthroughs available to those who can remove one of truth's protective layers.
What the fuck does that mean?
I
mean, you're supposed to say, "Yo, I went to the moon, bitch." You're not supposed to say breakthroughs that
maybe
could
he's
be
giving it away.
Truth protective layers. Like, I don't even understand what that means. The press conference is one of the more fascinating things. If you watch the press conference again, I've never seen a video where people look like they're more full of shit. They're like fidgety and looking nervous, like they're getting away with something.
So they didn't do it then.
They might have done it. They might have been forced to say some things that they didn't want to say, and that could be part of it.
Absolutely.
They could have done it, but there's a lot of weirdness with the moon landing. It's if you wanted to have like a conspiracy to wrap your head around that's exciting, it's one of the best ones.
Really, but who benefits from it?
The United States government did, because it showed military superiority over the Russians, so we were able to do that.
Sure.
It also, it was the Nixon administration. People were just flat out full of shit.
Well, yeah.
I mean, they were just lying to people left and right back then.
That's government, though.
Yeah, but even more so then, because it was unchecked. There was no media.
Social media.
Yeah, there's nothing that would expose them for this. And this stuff, they would air it on TV once in 1969. You would never see it again unless you watched it on film. There was no YouTube where you could go back and watch the astronauts on trampolines video. That's my favorite one. You watch that and you go, what in the fuck is happening there? These guys are bouncing up in the air. Like, how are they doing that? Like, they never did. If you watch Apollo 11 when they were moving around on the surface of the moon, it's just like they're moving in slow motion. And then you go to whatever it was, like Apollo 14 or 15 when they were doing the trampoline thing. They're just fucking flying through the air. Have you seen it?
I've not. I know. I've never gotten to the moon thing. The flat Earth thing is ridiculous.
Watch this. And like their feet are hidden. Look at this. Watch these guys bounce up in the air. It's like they're on some sort of wire, like they're being yanked up into the air.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck are they doing? And they're playing, like falling down, and it's very weird. But it could have been that they were really on the moon, and these guys were fucking cowboys and yahoos, and they wanted to bounce around.
Oh, you were posting those videos.
Yeah, I posted
back
those videos back in the day. Yeah, I had a debate on Penn Jillette's radio show with a guy who's an astronomer. And he wasn't willing to admit a lot of stuff that was a fact, like the fact that Werner von Braun was a Nazi.
Well, why does the flag look so still there?
Well, the flag had a wire, first of all, on the top of it that stiffened it up to make it but there's videos of the flag moving in a non-existent explanations for why the flag could be moving in a vacuum, and some of it makes sense, but some of it doesn't. Like the wires one is weird. If you watch them fall down, like go to that one right there, Jamie. If you watch, like sometimes they're falling down, and when they're falling down, it looks like they get yanked back up. But I think it might not have been real footage. What they might have done is use some test footage, like right there, Jamie, right there. Let it go. Like homeboy falls down, and then it looks like he gets yanked back up. Look at this. Whoops.
Oh, he did not. That's not him standing up.
Yeah, what is this?
That's not him standing up. You can't stand up like that.
Right, but you're on the moon. Okay, so you realize you're in 1/6 Earth's gravity.
But there was nothing to make him go like this.
Exactly.
Right? You can't get up without.
Exactly.
Now we go back to MMA because that's what these freaking folk style wrestling's the next generation of MMA.
Yeah, watch
Because
this
you have
again.
to turn to your base to get up. You can't look at there's
be like a
no, you
break dancer.
can't because. Okay, maybe a breakdancer. Maybe a breakdancer. But you can't get up without putting a base down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really weird.
It's
I
very
never saw
weird.
it.
Watch it again. Watch him get yanked up.
Yeah, he's got no base.
Yeah.
It almost seems like that little piece is played in reverse.
Well,
Yeah.
it almost does. Yeah, it almost does.
Yeah, that he couldn't stand up like that.
But the thing falls down right afterwards, so it wasn't in reverse. I think it's entirely possible that some of the footage was bullshit. But it doesn't mean that they didn't go to the moon.
Yeah.
It means that overzealous people in
and he only had one
press...
foot on the ground there too.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's true. Look at this. Watch.
So he stood up like.
Look at that. It's ridiculous.
He can't do it.
What? His right foot's down, his left foot's up, and he just goes straight up in the air. It is crazy.
That's fake.
But I've never been in 1/6 Earth's gravity, and neither of you.
No,
so maybe it's
Joe,
easier
it's
to
fake,
do.
dude. You can't stand up like that.
You think that's fake?
That
Ben
video
Askren says we never went to the moon.
I said that
Report.
video is fake.
No, the video is real. That's from television.
Okay. The video, that guy standing up like that, he got help somehow.
Yeah, well,
you can't stand up like that.
Very well, he could have been on wires. It could have
Yes.
been that they were using that to simulate what it would be like. Because they definitely filmed a lot of simulations. They did a lot of that because they wanted to prepare the astronauts. It's entirely possible that some of those simulations got passed off as being an actual video of them on the moon.
Sure.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
Or they faked the whole fucking thing. I wasn't there.
So,
I don't know.
so
I was only
actually,
2.
Joe Rogan rejects the single bullet theory, arguing Oswald didn't act alone and the evidence points to a larger cover-up.
So let's find one that we disagree on. I think you believe the official story of the JFK assassination, do you?
More or less, yes.
More or less.
Yeah.
My belief, and this is changes over time, I think that Lee Harvey Oswald was in on it. I think he was a part of it, but I think there were multiple people that were in on it. That's what I believe.
Do you think there are multiple shooters?
Yes. And one of the reasons why I believe that is because of the formation of the single bullet theory. And the single bullet theory was formed because the fact that they had to account for one bullet that hit the underpass, ricocheted off, and put some man in the hospital. And that before that, they did not have an explanation for why all of these bullet holes, all these wounds were in all these different people's bodies. The other reason why I'm inclined to believe there's a conspiracy was the fact that they found that bullet on Connolly's gurney when they brought him into the hospital. It's too convenient, and the bullet itself is fairly pristine. Now, knowing as much as I know about bullets from personal experience of hunting, you can't hit anything with a bullet. I pulled a lot of bullets out of animals. When you shoot an animal and you hit bone, those bullets, they distort brutally. I mean, they don't look like that after they go through 2 people and hit all sorts of bone. That's the bullet that came out of Connolly's body, or Connolly's gurney, excuse me. And that's the bullet that they're attributing to this single bullet theory. If you look at the path of the bullet that goes through Connolly, or goes through Kennedy and then goes through Connolly, that to me is not unbelievable. It's not unbelievable.
That one is. But you got to look at the other one.
But even that one, see what I'm saying? Even that one is not unbelievable. It is believable to me because I know that bullets do strange things when they hit things.
Right, but you got to combine that with the fact that the bullet came out fairly pristine, which means it didn't actually go through a kind of a bouncy path like that.
Right.
It went through a straight path. This diagram is from a
conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, essentially.
Yes. But
there are other diagrams that will show the actual path with him. Like, they've got the butts there on the same level, and you know that Kennedy was actually sitting above
elevated.
Connolly.
Yes. So see if we can find one that has the actual seating arrangement or more accurate seating. Well, the one right there with the red line in the right-hand side. The one on the right-hand side, that's a more accurate.
From above, yeah.
Yeah, from above.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that there was particles. There was more metallic particles from the bullets, more fragments from the bullet in Connolly's body than were missing from the bullet. I do not believe that was the bullet, and I think that is a very reasonable assumption.
Well, you know what you should do? You should get one of those guns, get the same bullets, get some ballistic dummies with some bones inside, and start shooting.
They've already done that.
Yeah,
Penn and Teller did that.
Yeah, but some people have done it, and they have found pretty close to what actually happened.
No, they didn't.
Within the round.
No. Every bullet that hit bone got distorted. That's just what happens. When you shoot those bullets into water, or you shoot those bullets into like fluff or something like that doesn't have a lot of impact to slow the bullet down, then you get a bullet that looks like that. If you shoot a bullet into bone, they distort wildly.
But the bone was the last thing that it hit.
But it doesn't matter. It's still hitting bone.
But it stopped at that point.
Yeah, but I mean, didn't it hit bone in Kennedy's body as well?
Went through his neck, didn't it? So
the odds of it hitting only soft tissue, and it's going to go through his neck, and it came out here, that it didn't clip one of his vertebrae or something like that, I don't think that's real.
Yeah.
I think also there's a difference between, and this is fact, from David Lifton's book, Best Evidence, which was a book by an accountant who went over the Warren Commission report and found all these factual inaccuracies and all these contradictions. He found that there was a difference in the autopsy report at Bethesda, Maryland, the Bethesda Naval Hospital, versus what they had reported on the scene in Dallas. The first doctors that got a hold of Kennedy's body in Dallas before they flew him to Bethesda said that the hole in his neck was an entry wound. When they got to Maryland, they changed that to a tracheotomy hole. They changed the impact, and they said that it was this was not an impact from a bullet, that it was from something else.
yeah, someone said they enlarged the hole to insert a trach tube.
Yeah. Well, I think there was also a lot of pressure on these people to try to wrap this up nice and tight and say that Lee Harvey Oswald was the shooter.
There was, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's this big thing about the CIA inventing the FBI? The FBI, well, inventing the term conspiracy theory was a CIA thing.
I think it was the CIA.
Yeah, and this was a couple of years after the assassination. There was a memo that went out where they were concerned about all these conspiracy theories that were coming out. And they used the term conspiracy theories, and then they said they should try to basically debunk them and make the people who spread them around look like conspiracy theorists, basically.
Right.
So that the theory is that the term conspiracy theory came from that particular memo. But that memo, they never actually encouraged people to use the term. But yeah, there was a huge concern from the CIA that they would lose the trust of the public if everybody started believing that it was a conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
At least that's what they said. I mean, maybe there is a conspiracy and maybe they're just trying to cover it up. But
did you see the most recent dump of information on the Kennedy assassination that Jack Ruby had stated to people that before the day of the Kennedy assassination, keep an eye out today, there's going to be fireworks?
I didn't see that. Yeah,
those Jack Ruby, who eventually wound up shooting Lee Harvey Oswald in front of the police officers.
Yeah. But, something like that, there's no... he's dead, obviously, so you can't ask him what he actually meant. And things like that take on a special significance after an event.
True.
Whereas he could be just talking about, like, he was going to go visit his ex-wife or something, or he was going to go to the bar, or he was looking forward to shouting at the parade or whatever.
Right. Could have been nothing.
Yeah, people say things, and, after something happens, people go back and they look at everything that happened, and then they say, well, that sounds like something significant.
Right. Like
with the Vegas shooting, there was a woman walking around the crowd in the Vegas shooting saying, you're all going to die. This is what some people said. And this was like half an hour before the actual shooting itself. So people take that event, and then, since a lot of people did die, they think that this woman actually knew what was going to happen and she was trying to warn people.
Right.
But you also get crazy people wandering around saying things all the time, especially in Vegas.
Yeah, and the problem with "you're all going to die" is that's a common one. Some guy was yelling that. We took pictures of him when we were in Vegas long before the shooting. It was a few months ago. we were standing. No, we were in a car, and he was standing on the corner, and he had a stack of signs. I put it up on my Instagram. I know I did, because there was stacks of signs. He had not just one sign, but he had like a long totem pole of signs with all these different things, and I was taking photos of it, and the guy was yelling out, "Everyone's going to die." I mean, he was yelling it out, that, God's wrath and all this, crazy religious stuff.
That's a common thing for crazy people to shout.
Yes.
That's what they do shout.
It's not like this woman was saying specifically, someone is going to shoot everyone at this concert, get out of here, this is a dangerous area.
If she was trying to warn them, she would have been a bit more specific.
Yes, very specific, right? If she knew something. Do you find it? No? I know I put it up there because we were mocking it. Maybe I put it on my Instagram story and it went away. I don't think so, though. I think it's there from, I want to say it was at least 6 months ago. But we were mocking this guy because this guy's got a lot of fucking signs. Like, one sign's not enough. I go, this is the guy. This is the reason why Twitter only has 140 characters for motherfuckers like this.
I think I remember it was like July because it was like 120 degrees out too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was very hot.
Really
This goofy asshole had this giant stack of signs. So the back to the Kennedy thing.
Yeah.
What do you think happened? Do you think that Lee Harvey Oswald probably acted alone?
I think he probably acted alone. I think the physics of what happened is fairly consistent with the single shooter theory. Now, admittedly, the magic bullet is a bit strange, but I don't think it's out of the bounds of possibilities.
I do, because of the fact that the metal particles. There's more bullet fragments in Connolly's body than were missing from that almost pristine bullet. And even though the fact that it hit Connolly at the very end, if it went through all that flesh and it didn't hit any bone until it hit his wrist, then it would not have been compromised very much ballistically. It would still be going incredibly fast. It still would have smashed into that bone. It did enough to break his wrist, and it would have distorted the bullet. That's just what happens with bullets.
See, unfortunately, I don't really follow JFK conspiracy very much. And the reason I don't is that there are already, I think literally over 1,000 books on JFK.
I've read a few. I got into Case Closed. That was Vincent Bugliosi's book. Is that who it was? But I was like, this guy's got an agenda. It just didn't. There's many books that you could read about the Kennedy assassination, and some of them favor the conspiracy, and some of them favor the assassination. I think a lot of them have merit on both sides. One thing that drives me crazy was people say that you could never make that shot. That's fucking bullshit. That's bullshit. This is why I know it's bullshit, because it was only like a couple hundred yards. Yeah. Like a couple hundred yards, shooting at something the size of a person's head is easy.
What about Jesse Ventura trying to do the three shots, getting 3 shots off?
He didn't know what he was doing. Look, I mean, first of all, if you were used to that rifle and you practice that, someone said, "Oh, the scope was off." I think that's bullshit too. The reason why I think that's bullshit is because it's easy to knock a scope off. You have to have a direct chain of evidence between the time Lee Harvey Oswald had that scope shooting that rifle, the moment he shot that rifle, and then you have to hand it off to someone who checks the scope right then. Because if you drop a rifle, the scope goes off. Just drop it. I've done that before. I dropped a rifle once when I was hunting in Wisconsin, and my scope was off by 6 inches at 100 yards. Just dropping it. So the idea that he could have never made that shot because the scope was off. Scopes get adjusted. That's what happens when you drop a scope. They move. That's a whole thing about ballistics. You have to check them. You go to the range. You set up a lead sled. You lay the rifle down so it's perfectly stable. You squeeze off a shot. You use the binoculars. You find out where the shot hit on the target, and then you adjust the scope. They're adjustable. So the idea that his scope was no good is crazy. The idea that shot was too far to make, insane. It was I think it was less than 100 yards when they think he made the first shot, which is a chip shot. That's a shot that you would make without even a rest. Now he's making this shot resting on the window, so he's perfectly steady. The idea that was impossible is crazy. The idea that no one can do that in 3 shots, that's been disproven. Someone can do it. Someone who's really good at reloading and loading can do it. Just because Jesse Ventura couldn't do it, but Jesse's super conspiracy-minded.
Yes.
Like, he goes all in with the conspiracy theories.
That's the motivated reasoning part of things.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's doing it just for his show or because he really believes it.
I worked with the same people that did his show. The same people that did his show. The reason why I did Joe Rogan Questions Everything is they wanted me to take over Jesse's show after he was done, and I was uninterested. I was like, I'm not that guy. I'm not like the I believe every conspiracy guy. I think people have a real weird vested interest in proving that things are a conspiracy. I'm interested in finding out what things really are, like legitimately what they really are. Yeah. And even if I'm wrong, like I'm not interested in reinforcing things I've already said. If I find out that what I said was wrong, I'm interested in repeating that I was wrong as many times as I can to get it out to as many people as I can.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Because I think it's important. Yeah. So this JFK thing, there's bullshit on both sides of it. But the idea that this guy who went over to Russia, married a Russian citizen, came back here, he was absolutely involved in some shady, weird shit with Cuba. He's a fucking weird guy. Lee Harvey Oswald was a weird guy. The idea that he was completely innocent, I'm not buying that either.
I don't buy the idea that it's proven that he acted entirely alone. It's entirely possible that there are other people who are helping him or motivating him or giving him instructions even. Yeah. The thing I don't think is really proven is the additional shooter theory.
It's not proven, and there have been people that said they heard things from behind them. The problem with that is chaos. When you have gunshots, first of all, gunshots in an area like Dealey Plaza, the echoes ring out, and people claim to see things and hear things, and they even believe themselves. If you tell someone that you heard something in the bushes and then you run away, that person will say, I heard something in the bushes, and then other people will repeat it. It becomes the narrative, and it just gets real hard.
Can create memories.
Yes. Joe Rogan and Eddie Bravo dive into wild theories, from Trump's $19 billion NASA moon plan to QAnon's secret war narrative.
All time?
No. Battlefield Earth.
There you go.
Yeah, you're fucking up today with the names.
I'm fucking up.
You know that Trump gave NASA a whole shitload of money, like $19 billion, and said, okay, here's the money, but we're going to the fucking moon. Let's go to the moon. So they started a campaign to go to the moon, and they just canceled the mission.
Why? No. They didn't cancel the mission. They canceled the moon rover.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they canceled the construction of the moon, and everybody's confused. They don't know how they did that, because this is like the last moon rover that unless they have some new top secret moon rover that they don't want to let anybody know about.
Maybe they found some new cool shit.
Maybe.
Probably.
Why did?
Yeah. Maybe they can't go.
Imagine if we really did.
Trump said, let's go. And they're like, okay, give us the money.
Let's figure it out.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We got $19 billion.
Imagine if we really did find out.
Nobody else is working on it, putting a rover on the moon. And the NASA wasn't either until Trump said, here's the money. Let's go to the fucking moon, and then we're going to Mars.
Could you imagine if Trump goes on TV and says, there's a lot of things to talk about. One of them is, it's a terrible tragedy. We've never been to the moon, ladies and gentlemen.
I feel like that's some shit he would do.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If he found out, he doesn't know. He doesn't know.
How do you know he doesn't know?
He's too busy with...
He's friends with Alex Jones.
He's a loose cannon.
They don't really talk that much.
Because they can't. They can't. Everywhere they go, they're wearing wires. Everyone's wearing a wire. Their phones are being tapped.
You know who QAnon is? QAnon?
I've heard about that.
It's crazy shit, dude.
What is it?
QAnon is someone in the Trump administration. People think it's someone in intelligence and the military who's dropping all these clues on 4chan and 8chan. So the whole thing is it real? Is it disinformation? Is someone playing a trick? But he legally can't say what's going on behind the scenes.
Another leg lock. Look at this. He legally can't say
because it's against the law. So he's dropping all these clues, and it's someone named QAnon, and it's been going on for about 3 months. And there's all these people in the underground. Basically, he's saying, trust the president. It's going to take a while to take down all these corrupt people at the top of the FBI and the Department of Justice and all this shit. We're going to take them down one by one. So he's been dropping all these clues on how they're going to do it. It's pretty interesting. You listen to it every day. His drops every day, and it's like it gets addicting. But you don't know if it's real or not. Like, is it disinformation? It's called QAnon, and he makes drops every day and leaves all these clues of what's going on behind the scenes.
But no one can trace back to find out who he is or anything like that.
No, I think on like 4chan or 8chan, isn't it? Like if you can hackers know how to drop information without being tracked, right?
Oh, for sure.
Right? That's what's going on. Have you heard of QAnon? I know you have, right?
Yeah, there's a bunch of posts about it, but again, who knows if it's real or not?
Yeah, but But the people that, I mean, there's people who there's a guy named Jerome Corsi who works for Alex Jones, who that's his job, is to analyze all these clues of what's going on, what Trump is doing behind the scenes, because he's got the media, all the entire media, Hollywood, FBI, and what they're finding out is they're finding text messages and emails going back and forth between key people running the government, colluding to destroy Trump. That's what's going on.
Well,
so
for sure, they don't want him around.
No, hell
nobody.
no.
None of those people that have been in politics,
But they're being
established
busted
politics
now.
forever.
They didn't think he was going to win, so they did all this shit thinking Hillary was going to win. But now that he won, they're going back and looking at all the text messages from all these super powerful people. People are resigning. It's crazy shit going on, and most people don't know. It's like Game of Thrones for real. You know how Game of Thrones has like 50 characters, and it would take you about a month to catch up on what's going on. There's just so much going on. That's what's going on. There's a Game of Thrones going on right now, but the media is only going to tell you their side, and then QAnon is dropping the behind-the-scenes clues. It's pretty fascinating.
Standing arm triangle here.
Another submission.
This is
This is over.
interesting.
This is over.
This is a standing,
100% it's over.
Standing arm triangle.
100% it's over. 100%.
He look at him talking to the
100%.
camera. Oh, go back to the camera. He's talking to it.
He should jump to full guard. He should jump to full guard.
Why do you think this is definitely done?
It's so deep, and the guy's not doing anything with his left hand. Well, he wasn't. If he just jumps full guard,
he's in
it's over.
trouble. He
Okay,
goes down.
there you go. Okay, it's over now.
No
way he's going to survive.
No, it's
That's
over.
it. No way. No way.
Damn, Eddie Bravo called that shit.
Joe Rogan and Everlast question if CERN glitched reality and whether we're living in a simulation.
I keep thinking that one day they're going to come up with artificial Luke Skywalker type hands, and that people are going to want them instead of regular hands. That's what I'm worried about.
Wow.
If they came up with an arm,
It would
that
sound
works way better
terrible
than your
though,
arm,
like metal
maybe
on metal.
not.
Unless if you had the skin like simulation, I could play guitar with that. Maybe.
Dude, I'm talking about
Probably do some wild shit.
I'm talking about self-healing, bulletproof, spider silk hybrid skin, like that the government's working on. They're working on that right now. They're working on some sort of.
I don't doubt it, man. I
read an
you,
article.
You want to hear a wild one? All right, I went on, one night fucking smoking. I went on a little YouTube wormhole situation, and somehow, I don't even know if it's a YouTube video or somewhere else, but I wound up on this video that was like, world's smartest kid thinks that CERN blew the world up in 2008. All right. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go on this video, right? And I'm watching this video, dude. And it's this young kid. He's like 12, and the motherfucker's talking. You got to invest like 20 minutes into this kid talking about things that are super smart. And it's kind of like to show you he's super smart. You know what I mean? This kid. And his dad's doing the recording, I believe, or a relative, somebody very close to him. And he goes into this whole theory of how he thinks when they collided the electrons, I believe, in the super collider, CERN, that they caused some crazy chain reaction that blew up the universe. But they also they created an atom that weighed too much. And the first 20 minutes is also explaining infinite parallel universes. So what the kid winds up with is this theory of like, one atom weighing too much and is that being just enough to shift our universe into a parallel universe. Yeah, this is it right here, dude. So this kid had me fucked up because after I watched this, everything I saw for months was talking about, like, it would be a news guy on the news, like, I don't know what universe I'm in anymore, or it's Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse. Like everything I saw for like 4 or 5 months after watching this video was like multiverse shit. Like shit about multiverses, and it's got me fucked up, Joe.
I hear you. I'm fucked up too now.
Fucked up, man.
Listen, read this paragraph. Look at what it says there. He claims that CERN destroyed the universe during recent experiments, which has resulted in us living in a nearby parallel universe instead.
You're welcome, Eddie.
There's a lot of people online that think this is an explanation for all the Mandela effect things that people keep finding
he goes
online.
into stuff about the Mandela effect, how there's like apparently a bunch of people who think Mandela died in prison,
right?
And like there's as far as I know, he was released, became president of South America. That's the universe I'm from, just personally. But it's crazy, dude. Because it's not just this video. It's like you watch it.
And that YouTube algorithm starts sending you down a whole bunch of other, you know what I mean? You start hearing, and it's like, and then again, everything that came out, there was all these shows I would see or movies or news things about the multiverse all of a sudden was everywhere around me. It was fucking nutty, dude. So I'm fucked up about that shit right now.
Well, if there was something they could do, that might open up a door to a parallel universe, you don't think they would do it?
Stranger Things, you mean?
Yeah.
Say that's
this
the goal.
Is Stranger Things. I mean, things are strange, right? It is Stranger Things.
Bizarro world.
You know what's the weirdest one? Is the people that dismiss climate change. That is the weirdest one to me. Because I'm like, I'm trying to figure out what's the benefit of dismissing climate change, other than if you work for like the oil industry or something.
Well, Iceland just lost a glacier.
Yeah.
Like they just posted a whole thing of 10 or 80, like something in the 80s, a glacier picture of it, and just now, and it's gone.
But I'm not even saying like blaming anybody for it. I'm saying dismissing it as an issue. I'm like, let's pretend that people have nothing to do with it. I wish people had nothing to do with it. Because then we can go, holy fuck, it's getting hot. Like, how hot is it going to get? Like, we could just figure it out. Like, if it was just
record at this point, it's 2 degrees. The oceans are hotter than they've been in
But do you know how people do that? Where they try to say, well, this is a natural cycle. This is something that some people still say, right? Okay, even if it was just a natural cycle, I wish humans weren't in the equation at all, so there was no argument. I wish it would just be like, hey, guys, it's getting really hot. What the fuck do we do? As if we had no control over it whatsoever. Not saying that we shouldn't take steps to fix it, and we definitely should. But I'm saying that if it was impossible for people to have created it and it was happening around us, maybe we would be forced to do something. Maybe we'd be forced to go to higher ground, get the fuck out of the really hot spots, make your way towards Canada. Maybe that would what we would do if there was no other way. But we know that at least part of what the problem is people. At least part of what the problem. But so many people they want to start arguments about that and fight that. And to me, it's so strange. It's like, what's the benefit of arguing against that it's happening? I don't understand. Like, it's happening. You see it getting warmer. You see the statistics. You see everybody freaking out. The Amazon's on fire. Have you seen that?
Yes. No, it's fucking horrifying.
You see those photos from Sao Paulo?
Yes, they're just, and I believe it's purposeful.
I have heard that is that some people are.
It's being burnt away on purpose, is what the things I've read or understood. I won't swear their truth because again, now that's one of the things what you're saying is you got to question everything now. Truth has been compromised, man. You know what I mean? No matter what side of whatever you are on, truth has been seriously compromised because there's a counter opinion to everything, and if you're not adept enough to really get involved and find factual information, you can literally counter any argument there is.
Yeah.
With something. Oh, I read this. Well, I read this. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, that doesn't mean either one of those things are true. Let's go find the truth. You know what I mean? That doesn't exist anymore because people just want to Google that shit, get on, and move on with their day. And it's laziness on our part. A lot of people don't want them. It's like fucking this thing that everybody's posting with the goddamn fucking Instagram. I don't give you permission.
Yeah, so silly.
I read a whole other thing that says the average American, I believe, signs 1 or 2 legal documents a day without reading them, and just by logging into shit on your phone, Amazon or Instagram or whatever. Every time you do that, you subscribe and adhere to their terms and conditions. You think a picture of a copy and pasted Instagram thing over something that was from Facebook fucking 12 years ago it's bananas.
Well,
it's bananas.
People get roped into things. One person.
I see smart people posting and saying better safe than sorry.
Yeah. I've seen that too.
What argument is that?
Well, they don't know how to internet. I'm
just saying, even if it's like you suspect it's wrong, but fuck it anyways.
Right.
It's like, wait, that's. If you suspect it's wrong, take the extra time or just don't do it at all.
Yeah. Like, what? Do you really
I'm just using that as an example of why the state of things are as they are.
Yeah, it's a sneaky little loophole. It's a sneaky little thing that happens to you. Everybody's posting something stupid. Did you send it to me? Oh, well, Everlast sent it to me. It must be legit. Let me just post it. You know, I mean, how many times have you done that? I've done that all the time.
I posted something clowning it, and then immediately after it, Dana came up. It was him posting the exact thing, and with the whole like better safe than sorry thing.
Oh, Christ.
You know what I mean? I was like, oh man, oh dude.
They got everybody though. They got that fucking Rick Perry guy.
Everybody.
Isn't Rick Perry's job to like fucking protect the nukes or something?
I saw a governor or something post it too.
What did Rick Perry? They said Rick Perry, but he has a specific job in the government.
It's like the energy secretary. I think.
He's like in control of the nukes, right? Is that what it is?
If you're the energy secretary, yeah, you are.
I don't know. Whatever the fuck he is, he's got a big job, and he fell for it. It's
Bizarro world.
We're
man.
in Bizarro world. Maybe that fucking kid is right.
I'm telling you, dude. You're gonna be calling me in a couple nights like, fuck you, dude. Why did you even tell me about that?
No, I've bounced the idea of multiple universes many times.
We all have, but this kid, watch it. You're gonna invest, give it 20 minutes or 15, 18 minutes, whatever it is, and then you'll be like, oh wow, it's not that it's fact. But it's like, wow, that's super possible. It's super, super possible the way he breaks it down.
What about this? What if every time you went to sleep and you woke up, you passed into a nearby and very similar universe, but not quite the same? And depending upon your choices and how you live your life, it's how you wake up and what new one you pop into on the other side. And everyone's just a little bit different. The whole world changes just a little bit each time you make a decision, one way or another. Everything changes when you wake up. You think the world is static because it is when you're awake. But you have no fucking idea what's happening while you're asleep. And when you wake up again, you have this foggy recollection of the past. And that's what you're going by. You're going by every morning waking up with a foggy recollection of the past. That's what you're doing. And you're assuming that nothing's changed and everything's static. And while you were asleep for 8 hours, nothing weird happened. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You have no idea. You're dreaming. You're having crazy fantasies and shit. Weird stuff is happening. You're fucking mermaids. You're flying through the air on a helicopter. You know, weird things happen when you're dreaming. What is all that about? Yeah. We don't even know. We have no idea what that is. That soup of possibilities that's fucking swirling around in between your ears while you're snoring up a storm. And then, boom, you wake up. Are you sure those memories are real? Are you sure that this isn't a whole completely new universe that you're living in today?
Or assimilation.
Or simulation. There was someone.
I said simulation.
I think that's a baby
I will call
formula.
myself out on that one right there.
There was some fucking another genius super wizard kid who was talking about that something about simulations. I forget what.
I was high at the house with the guy who runs my studio, Divine, and we were just fucking laughing, talking shit one day high. Like what if like I may have heard this. I could have been on your show. I could have read this. So I'm not claiming ownership of the thought. But it was like, what if like we just come from a universe like that's so perfect and shit, and it's boring as fuck. And we just plug in to have all these fucked up, like, weird problems. And that's why everything's getting fucking weirder and crazier. Because, like, that's kind of why we're here. That's part of the ride, you know?
That could be it. It could be the only way you appreciate love is to know hate. They'll really appreciate it. And it could be the only way we would appreciate all the good that we have is to balance it out with all the bad that we have. And when they start to overwhelm each other one way or the other, there's an imbalance that takes place, and it leads to all of our fucking problems as a society. And when you think about how long you're going to be alive and what it is that you're doing here and why you're doing it, you know, all those weird questions and answers that go on inside your head, it's all, you're distributing energy, right? You're trying to figure out, am I distributing my energy right? Am I living my life in a way that is like the best I can do with what I've got right now?
That's it.
All these mind fucks.
That's all you got to do, though. I mean, honestly, even no matter what we're saying, if you woke up every day and that was your objective, you couldn't really go or do much wrong.
No, you can't. And what if every day when you did that, you woke up in a nearby universe that was just a little bit different because of what you thought and did?
Dude, that's like, that's a movie.
Some magic type
That's
shit,
a movie, man.
Everlast.
That's a movie.
Some magic type
Oh,
shit.
you went. I was being. I just was like trying to be not such a glutton. There we go.
Salute.
DJ Melody over there. I just wanted to
cheers. How about cheers? Let's go American. Goddammit. Cheers. DJ.
Joe Rogan, Graham Hancock, and Randall Carlson discuss lost sound-based technology that may have built the Great Pyramid.
Now, the Great Pyramid of Giza is probably the most stunning of all these ancient structures. And the stones are immense, and some of them were cut from a quarry that's hundreds of miles away. How do you think they did that?
Well, some of them, the granite in the Great Pyramid comes from more than 500 miles to the south. If you look at the famous King's Chamber, its walls and its roof are the ceiling of the King's Chamber are all made with gigantic granite blocks.
Stunning detail.
Stunning detail. Those blocks on the roof of the King's Chamber weigh 70 tons each. Now, Egyptologists will tell you that they could move heavy blocks because they put them on wet sand and they push them along on wet sand. Well, maybe if you're just at ground level, that will do. But when you're 350 feet above the ground, as you are in the King's Chamber, that won't do at all. I don't know how they did it. All I know is they did it. I don't think anybody knows how they did it, how they lifted those stones, how they brought them up to that level. I think we're looking, again, at a lost technology. And it was this ancient apocalypse 12,800 years ago that wiped that from the human memory banks almost completely. Not entirely completely because there were survivors, but removed most of it. Randall will tell you, sea level rise, it creates a powerful high energy zone. Mm-hmm. Anything that was existing on those flooded coastlines has just been pounded to hell. I mean, talk about it, Randall.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lot more energetic than now. I mean, imagine your sea level rising at 3 or 4 times at least faster than we've seen rise in the last century. And within there, juxtaposed are these episodes of very rapid sea level rise. So you're talking about a very energetic intertidal zone. And anything that's there, short of large megalithic blocks, is going to be utterly obliterated by the time the process is through. And I think that this is one of the things that the archaeologists and the prehistorians, people are looking at that, have failed to take into account the severity of these events we're talking about. Because the question always is, where are the artifacts? Where's the pottery? Where is the evidence that this civilization existed? And I have 2 responses to that. One, you don't realize the extent of the total remodeling of this planetary surface that took place. Because I mean, we could get into some of the stuff here. I have tons of images where I think maybe we'll get a chance to pull up a couple of really awesome drone footage here before we're done. But once you begin to wrap your head around this, you go, really? It's like, imagine that you drop an atomic bomb on a city and it completely obliterates it. And then a short while later, you drop another one on the same place. What's going to be left? And then 10,000 years, 20,000 years goes by. What are you going to find? What are you going to look for? It's going to be just rubble that gets reincorporated just into the geological stratum, and it's going to be very difficult to differentiate, for example, from what's called a conglomeratic rock, which is basically we have just a huge jumble of broken rock cemented together. Right? Now, within there could be all kinds of stuff that's not even recognized as being artificial in the sense that humans had anything to do with it. The other thing is when we talk about these ancient technologies, if we're only looking for a mere reflection of ourselves, we could overlook it completely because I think there's evidence that exists now. I mean, some modern researchers whose work has been buried or suppressed, I think we're getting very close to rediscovering some of the things that our ancient ancestors were up to. And maybe this would be worth a whole show in itself. We could dive into this, and I don't want to get into that today.
But what kind of technologies are you talking about?
Well, I shouldn't really get into that.
Get into it.
Get into it, Randall.
We got to get into it.
Okay, well.
We've opened the door, sir.
Okay. Well, okay.
The passing of the HDMI cable.
The passing
a sacred moment.
Well, there are people out there now who have been working on trying to rediscover that. And again, I don't want to digress too much into this now because I would really rather be able to give a whole treatment of it, and it might kind of derail us a little bit from this. But there are people who've been working on these things for decades now, basically in secret. And I've had the privilege of talking to some of these people over the last 6 or 7 years. And right now, as we're speaking, there's a group of people who are basically going to open source a whole lot of stuff in the next 3 months, so it can never get suppressed again. And that's why I'd like to come back and talk in more detail.
Well, I'd love to have you come back and talk about it, but we got to talk about it a little bit now.
Okay. Well, there's a laboratory right now in the Maldives that's been building prototypes using these technological principles, which are based on implosion rather than explosion. And the inspiration for this...
Tesla's ideas are part of it, I think you mentioned.
Tesla's ideas are very much a part of it. Yes, Tesla's ideas are very much a part of it. So is, I don't know if you ever, Victor Schauberger, who did the work with water and discovered, look at, Jamie, could you look up Victor? Oh, I have the cable now, don't I?
Take it back. Let me find a video.
Well, no. Let me pull something up here, and
I think the key thing is we're looking at technologies that are not the same as ours.
Yes.
And that's partly why archaeologists can't see them, because they're looking for us in the past, and they're not open to the possibility that there are whole other kinds of technology that could be used.
Right.
I always go back to the ancient Egyptian traditions that speak of priests chanting as these huge blocks were lifted into the air. Were they using some kind of sound effect, some kind of use of sound that was able to manipulate matter? We know that sound can manipulate matter, as a matter of fact, but they're lifting these blocks. Again and again, it appears in ancient Egyptian traditions. The notion that we could lift huge blocks with sound seems absurd to archaeologists, and yet it's there in the traditions of the Egyptologists. And what Randall's talking about now is people who are working on a whole alternative path of technology, and maybe that's a rediscovery of the kind of technologies that were used by a lost civilization.
I think that's what's important about what you're saying, is that we have this very limited idea of technology based on what we've experienced.
Yeah.
But if you had anatomically similar human beings that lived for thousands and thousands of years.
Stuff just keeps on getting older.
If you think about the amount of progress that we've achieved as modern humans just in the last few hundred years, if you go back 400 years to now, it's a stunning amount of achievement.
Absolutely stunning.
And if you have a completely different path of technology, one that's not utilizing internal combustion engines and cranes and the like that we experience
leverage,
today.
Mechanical advantage, everything that our tech is based around.
Something that's insanely advanced, tens of thousands of years of a different path.
Yeah.
And that may be what we're looking at.
And that may begin to explain these otherwise inexplicable monuments that have survived.
Jamie, do I need... There we go. This is the work of Nikola Tesla. And he was... Again, this is way too much for us to get in today. That's why we need to devote a whole session to talking about this.
Okay.
But this is... this was the inspiration. You know, his work was suppressed. A lot of his patents were taken, sealed up by the U.S. government for whatever reason. I don't know. But this is some of the stuff that's now being developed using his ideas, plus some of the others. This is the man I've been talking to for the last 7 years.
Malcolm Bendall?
Yes. And again, I don't want to get into it today, but like, here's an example of what they're doing. This is a generator that has no moving parts. It's all based on geometry, pure geometry. Mm-hmm. And here's the basic idea, as I think I understand it at this point. Resonance frequencies. Everything vibrates. Have you ever, like if we had an electric razor, we plugged it in, turned it on, set it on this table, bzz, it's going to move around, isn't it? You ever seen that?
Yeah.
That's the beginning of the concept because it's vibrating. Everything vibrates at a frequency, and if you know that frequency, you can control things. And I think that's the basic idea of what we're looking at here. And it's all based upon the ancient numbers. And they're developing technologies right now, and they have been. I was recently contacted and given the go-ahead that I could talk. I've been sitting on this for 7 years without talking about it because they asked me not to talk about it until they had their patents in place and their licensing. That's all happened since last summer. So we're now free to talk about it. So that's what I'm saying. I think it would be a good idea to get me back on here. We can look at it. I'm going to lay this on Graham so he can look at it too, because I really want to get Graham's feedback on this.
I mean, would it be fair to say that there's an element of a rediscovery of a lost technology from the past?
I think it would be fair to say that, yes.
Yeah.
And so through this technology, they're able to move stones or cut stones or all the above?
All the above.
And even transport them? Whoa,
Yes.
what is all this?
Well, this is the model, and this is diagramming all the frequencies of the elements and what their vibrational frequencies are and the numbers that measure those frequencies. And they're all the numbers we get from looking at these ancient traditions that recur over and over and over again, that I've been talking about in my sacred geometry classes for decades without knowing what the final result was going to be. So this inventor who's working with this small group contacted me, and this is what he told me. He said, you built the foundation. He said, you laid the foundation with your work on ancient geometry, and I built a house on top of it. That's what he said.
Nice.
So for 7 years, he's been supplying me with all the information. I have copies of all the patents. I have videos of the testing of the prototypes. And Mazda, the car manufacturer in Japan, is getting ready to do a $25 million testing of some of these prototypes that they believe they can retrofit internal combustion engines with. And there's over 100, they've developed over 100 patents on some of this stuff. And it's amazing.
And what would be the fuel?
Well, plasmoids. Plasmoids, as it says here, are donut or toroidal-shaped clusters of net protons or net electrons that once captured and placed into a toroidal orbit are capable of absorbing, storing, and releasing enormous amounts of energy within their self-generated and structured electromagnetic containment field. Plasmoids, in effect, function as an atomic battery that can be self-charging due to its ability to convert matter to available clean energy. So it's a lot to get into, and I think it would take us kind of off what we're here to talk about today.
At least what's promising is that there is some, at least, research or understanding.
And it's actually quite mature at this point.
Mm.
And in order to avoid the kinds of fate that befell Tesla and Reich, Robert Oppenheimer, Victor Schauberger, and so many others that were working in these fields, all kind of converging on this same insight. It's been conducted in secret. The laboratory that they've been developing this is in the Maldives, so that it's been immune from government interference. And now I think it's about ready to go the next.
Now, what is the motivation of the suppressing of this information?
I think in case of Tesla, wasn't it military, the fear of military applications?
I also think that, there are huge corporations that have very large investments in a particular path of technology, which is ours.
Right.
And for somebody to come up with a whole new path of technology, it's very threatening to them. And much better from their point of view to suppress it, or if they can't suppress it, to kind of buy it and hide it, and keep things on the track that they're on now. I would say that's the motive.
And maybe for people that are curious about this and maybe even skeptical, consider the massive change that nuclear power provided us. Mm-hmm. Whereas before the 1940s, this was unheard of.
Yeah.
This even the concept of it. And all of a sudden now we have nuclear power, nuclear weapons, the most profound power known to man currently.
Mm. God help us, it's a power for use by adults, but unfortunately it's delinquent children who are leading our world right now. The leaders of our planet, the politicians out there, they're just complete assholes. I can't think of any of them who I feel any respect for whatsoever. And it's they who are in charge of this frightening, terrifying technology. We just aren't mature enough as a civilization to manage technology like that. You have to get that level of maturity.
Eddie Bravo claims space might be fake, part of a plan for a staged alien invasion and global control.
You guys are gonna hate me for this.
What?
You know what I want? I want one example, Eddie, of why we should believe the Earth is flat. That's what I want.
Are you kidding me?
You son of a bitch! I want it so bad, and I am high and drunk.
I don't. We can
And
talk
you
about
guys want
flat
it
Earth
too.
as long as it's a joke and it's funny.
I'm
Because
cool.
if it gets angry,
Dude,
then it's not fun.
I'm not married to that.
If it's jokey,
I'm not married to it.
Jokey.
Convince me that it's flat.
There's no way I could do that, man.
God, really? There's not one example?
It takes about a year and a half of like one.
Year and a half? That's too much.
Very hard. The indoctrination's so strong. You look at your son's cartoons, it's all space. I look at all my shit, all the shit my son likes. His everything is there taking space.
I'm doing research on this currently.
Space.
I want to direct everyone to hashtag space is fake. Because I've been doing research on space being fake.
Is that real? That's a real site?
Yeah, hashtag space is fake is something I'm investigating for my next hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm legitimately looking deep into people
flat
that
Earth, there's
flat
so much
earthers
material
mock
there.
them.
There's
Flat
so-
Earth is like, what? Space is fake. What?
No.
You dumb
You flat
motherfucker.
earthers like,
it's the
bro,
same thing.
just chill.
No, it's the same thing.
Okay.
You got it all wrong. You got it all wrong.
Is
Well,
everybody
Eddie,
that
I've
believes
got to
the flat-
think this is not
everybody-
very organized.
No, what I'm saying is
I got to think I
everybody that
couldn't have it
thinks-
all wrong.
No,
There's no
everybody,
way.
anybody that thinks the Earth is flat, they totally don't believe what we're taught about what's above us. So when
the
people
sun?
say space
Wait a
is
minute.
fake, they
What about the
mean-
sun?
They mean all the information we're getting. You're lying about that shit. That it's not that it doesn't exist. Of course it exists. We see it.
Right, of course.
But space is fake sounds ridiculous. Like
There's something
we're
up
looking
there.
at it and it's fake. That's ridiculous. That's
just
not what
the
it means. It
Truman
means
Show.
that all the information we got about all
We're
those
off.
lights in the sky.
Yeah, something
They're
else.
They're lying
NASA's
to
lying?
us. They're lying to us.
Why would NASA lie?
And there's a reason,
well,
and
why
I can sit
wouldn't
here
they,
and tell you,
Brian?
but you guys don't want to hear it.
Hold on.
Wouldn't they?
So I
We'll
don't
give
want
you,
to talk
can you give
about
us the cliff notes?
the cliff notes are man.
Have you studied any kind of a?
He doesn't need to
from-
be. Let's hear just a few of it.
The goal has always been for the most powerful emperors is a one world government. They always wanted a one world government. All the Roman emperors, they try to figure out, they try to do different combinations. How about and they would fall and a new emperor would come and go, you know what? I'm going to fucking rule
World
the world
domination, in other words.
Aztecs.
I'm not going to let my soldiers get married. That way we'll have a stronger army. They have different philosophies. Everyone believed different shit. But they all wanted a one world government. There's no way to have a fucking one world government. Nobody's into that shit.
Right.
Not even other rulers from small countries are like, one world government, that's going to put me out of a job. Fuck your one world government. People that don't know shit about politics don't want a one world government. There's no way you're going to sell a one world government. It's impossible. The only way to make a one world government work is to have the people embrace it. They have to want it because nobody wants it. So the trick is to make people want it, to embrace it. There's only one way.
I gotta pee.
There's only
Hold
one
on,
way.
Joe. This is very
You're gonna
important.
miss
I've
out
heard
on
this. I know this.
Okay. I don't know.
The
That.
only way, and they've known this forever. The Vatican knew this. The Vatican, the Pope wanted to rule the world. They all knew it, but they couldn't do it. They all knew it, but they knew one way, but there's no way how they're going
What's
to
the
pull
one
it off.
way, man?
The only way is if there was some extraterrestrial threat from up above us. That would be the only way to have everyone embrace the one world government. They all knew that for years.
But it didn't work
That's
so far.
the plan. They could never
It's a
make
shitty
it
plan,
work.
though.
They didn't have the technology 500 years ago. The Vatican knew about it. They wanted it. And you go to the Vatican, you see paintings of like
Have you been there?
UFOs with aliens in them. And back when I used to believe in UFOs, but before I figured out that UFOs they want us to believe in UFOs. They're preparing us for a fake alien invasion. That's always been the plan. A one world government. The only way to do it is to get us to embrace it. And the only way to embrace it is from an alien attack. Ronald Reagan talked about it many times at the UN, CFR. He talked about it because wouldn't it make, he looked at all the leaders of the nation, of the world, and said, wouldn't it make our lives easier if we just had some, some kind of extraterrestrial threat? He said that shit. He said that in front of the UN. Like he's trying to get everybody into
I don't think he ever said that.
No, he said that many times. It's on video many times.
Ronald Reagan?
Ronald
Ever
Reagan.
heard of him, Brian? Ever heard of him?
George
to a lot of
Bush
speeches.
was vice president.
Right.
He was talking about, and there's many videos of him saying, what lies before us. He's in front of the nation doing a State of the Union address, saying what lies before us is the opportunity to forge a new world order, an order. Because he's talking about like it's
Do you think
time.
that means the space is fake?
Yes.
No. When people ask me, why would they fake space? It's always been about a fake alien attack. You can't have a fake alien attack.
I've never heard a politician ever talk about
You can't have a fake alien
attack
without space.
But I've never heard a politician
You
talk
have to have
about
space first. So they always, you know who promoted space more than anybody? Who wanted
Nazis.
Who wanted Nazis?
Russians.
But before the Nazis, you know who wanted
Cavemen.
space?
Aztecs.
No, the Vatican.
Mayans.
The Vatican. They have all the biggest. They have all the astronomers. They're all Jesuit Vaticans. All of them. All the ones that are giving us this information about space. They all come from the Vatican. The Vatican has the most
But the
powerful
Vatican said
telescope.
that the Earth-
You know what the name of the
Wait a minute. The
telescope
Vatican
is?
doesn't have the most powerful
Yes,
telescope.
they do. You know what its name is?
What
It
is
has
it called?
the most powerful telescope, the Vatican. And you know what name it is? I've
What?
done the research on YouTube.
on
I have the
YouTube.
links. You know what the name of this? Do you know
Isn't
what the
the biggest
name
one in
of
Chile?
this? The most powerful telescope in the world. It's in the Vatican.
What
Do
is
you know
it?
the Lucifer?
Lucifer's
What?
dick balls.
Lucifer?
Lucifer's dick and balls.
I've never seen this fucking telescope.
Yeah, it's legit, dude. I think the biggest one's in Chile. I think they have to be in high
It's in
altitude.
the Vatican.
Yeah, I don't think it's in the Vatican.
You guys didn't. So when people ask me, why would they fake all this shit?
Well, I don't think that's the biggest telescope,
This
Eddie.
is just a crazy theory.
It certainly is.
We're
Now,
talking
I've
a
never
theory.
heard-
Here's
It's
the
funny.
thing.
It's a funny theory.
But Eddie, these new Chile Very Large Array telescopes that they're creating are fucking gigantic, and they
This
take
guy's
over
no-
enormous pieces of
Listen,
land.
Listen, I was with you.
Google
I was
the
with
Very
you.
Large
Listen, I was with
Array.
you. It's called the Very Large Telescope. I watched the documentary with you at your house. It was like 2001, and
Yeah, I
it said in
think-
5 years
Yeah.
it's a documentary about them putting together the Very Large Telescope in Chile, and they're talking about by the year 2005 we're gonna have 3 telescopes linked with a computer to make us. We're gonna see further into space than ever before. None of that shit came.
What are you talking about?
None
I
of
think
that shit came.
Is that
They
up?
said-
Is the Very Large Array up yet? Nope.
No, it's a very
not up?
large telescope. It's
But I
all-
know they
all
have
images-
they have them in Hawaii. What's
Isn't
that?
it weird? Isn't it weird that every space documentary, all the series, I had them all, Joe had them all, we watch them all the time. I try to remember all the shit about a neutron star and a super hypernova. I was balls deep. Me and Joe
Hypernova.
were balls deep into space. And then
So
every
high.
now and then we'd watch this documentary after documentary. Morgan Freeman got the universe. We had
Yeah,
all
shit
that
was
shit.
good.
I DVR'd all that shit. Anything that said space.
Will Smith
I was
has a new
fucking
one.
I thought I was better than people and shit because I knew so much about space. And every now and then I'd watch all that shit and wonder what. This is all cartoons.
Eddie, why not?
This is all
hold on a
cartoons.
second.
And then I go, okay, whatever. And then I keep watching. All DVDs on space are all CGI. There's nothing real. And everyone watches that. They believe it. The narration is all programming. What's above us and what we're on, we're being lied to. Once you go flat, you never go back. Listen,
This is a campaign.
Listen, they're lying to us about everything,
Yes.
dude.
Who is they, though?
It's not about.
Who are
it's not
they,
about
Eddie?
belief.
Eddie,
Here's
who's
the one
they?
thing. This is the one thing I want to say.
Okay.
It's like it's not that we believe something ridiculous and you don't believe it. We're gullible. We're gullible. We believe some weird shit about the flat earth. We believe some weird shit. You don't believe it, you're smart. It's not about that. It's about we actually don't know what we're on, and we always say that. We don't know, but based on all the shit that we got by the mainstream, we don't believe that.
Here's what I
you
think.
believe that.
I
so
think-
it's not that we believe something crazy and you don't because you smell it, the bullshit.
But isn't there a
It's like
scientific-
you-
isn't there a
we look at
scientific
it different.
tradition?
We look
Eddie,
at it
hold
totally
on. They
different.
told
We
you,
look at it
Brian.
as you believe
You use
all
this-
the
hold
shit
on.
from
Bubba,
NASA.
you
Hold
use-
on. And we don't
Let
believe
me
any of that shit.
Yeah, but you use
so
that.
we don't
wait,
believe that
Eddie,
shit.
you use that microphone. You use a cell phone, right?
It's science.
Hold on.
I believe in it.
That's science.
I believe in it.
Okay, why do
I
you believe in
it.
that? And
because
why don't
I
you
don't
believe?
need a study I don't need to read something to verify.
But you benefit from science.
I experience
You
it.
benefit from
I
science
know.
every day.
I know. I love
listen,
science.
So why wouldn't you believe that
I
those?
think we got to cut this off. It's 10 o'clock.
Man, we gotta get out of here.
It's
I
10
love
o'clock.
science.
Come see me in Vancouver at the Vogue Theater and in Salt Lake City at Wise Guys, March 1 and 2.
I love science too.
I love science. I don't want to fight. I want to laugh about it. I'm an idiot. I believe in flat Earth. I'm crazy. That's all you need to know.
Joe Rogan and Shane Gillis unpack Maui fire conspiracies, from government failure to energy weapons, and Landon asks ex-CIA agent Mike Baker if journalist Michael Hastings' fatal crash was caused by a hacked car.
Not boner. I meant a burner. Hello, Freud. A burner phone.
Well,
at
the good thing is I can
7-Eleven.
fit my boner in there too,
That's
which is
the thing
good.
that most burner phones come with boners, right?
That's
The
right.
reason
That's
why
exactly
you're
right.
getting a burner
Yeah.
phone is
As
because
soon
you
as you
got
get
a
that
boner.
burner, you got a boner, and then it's a great vehicle. And like I said, my kids love it, Muggsy and Scooter and Sluggo. And,
That's interesting that you got it because you can't track you with it, and also they can't. Let me ask you this. This is a tough one. I want to ask you two conspiracy ones, but this one's a tough one. Michael Hastings. Do you know his case? Do you know his story?
Yeah.
What do you think happened there? Well, let's explain what happened. Who he was. He was a journalist. He was embedded in was it in Iraq during the war? He was writing a story for Rolling Stone, and he was writing about which general was it?
It was
McCaskill?
McChrystal. It was
McChrystal.
McChrystal. Stanley McChrystal. Yeah.
So he wrote this story, and apparently, while this happened, the Iceland volcano went off, so they suspended air travel. So he was stuck there far longer than he was supposed to be. And people got comfortable with this guy being around.
Right.
And so they behaved the way they behaved. They made some jokes about things. He apparently made some jokes about Obama. This guy Michael Hastings put all this stuff in Rolling Stone. It wound up being a huge scandal.
Yeah.
McChrystal had to step down, and there was a lot of people that hated that guy, and a lot of people loved McChrystal. And he was a highly respected general.
Yeah, absolutely.
He had to step down from his position, and next thing you know, X amount of time later, this guy drives his car 150 miles an hour into a tree. It blows up, the engine goes flying, the whole deal. The conspiracy theory was that there was a way, because he had a brand new Mercedes, there was a way that they could take over the controls of your vehicle, the acceleration, the braking, the steering, and they could do all this remotely. If they put something in your car, like we were talking about, if you could get a hold of this television, you could turn that television into a receiver.
Right.
Do you think that it's possible that someone could have gotten a hold of his car and made him suicide himself?
Two parts to it. One is it possible that you can take control of a vehicle, a modern vehicle?
Yes,
not
modern,
my,
right? Not that
not the Woody, not the Woody as we call it. So yes, it's absolutely possible that you can take. There's no two ways about
acceleration, steering, everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you've got and I mean, think about people should think about it. Think about the OnStar, or think about the ability for your car to send data. To the vehicle manufacturer, right? To tell them, what's going on with your vehicle.
Right.
That's a handshake operation, right? Once you do that means there's an exchange of information. What does that mean? Well, that means you can access. Can you access that information? Sure, of course you can. Does that mean you can then take physical control? Sure. It's just another iteration of the exchange of information, right? Software can take control of physical systems. So So the first part is yes. Is it possible that car could have been taken over? Sure. Do I think that's what happened? I have no idea. I really don't.
Of course.
But it's certainly a possibility. I mean, when I hear people talk about certain conspiracy theories, I look at it and go, "There's just no fucking way that could happen."
Like what one? What one do you say no fucking way?
Actually, now I'm having a hard time thinking of one. I like the theory that with every burner phone you get a boner. That's I can't imagine that could happen, but it sounds good.
I think I've been misunderstood. What I'm saying is you get the burner phone because you have a boner already. You're trying to get rid of the
I didn't see that.
boner.
Okay. Now I get. Okay, I got the priorities wrong. Yeah. Okay. So anyway.
Tell your secretary to get a burner phone too, and you meet her at the old
that's it.
hotel, motel, Holiday Inn.
Oh man, just like Jeff Bezos.